Digital Media presents a Veterans Day special to honor our service members, to remember their achievements, honor their courage and dedication, and to say thank you for the sacrifices they made to defend our country.
So Veterans Day means to me just a day we celebrate all the veterans that have served in all forms of the military and that have died and that have fought in multiple wars for our country.
Veterans Day is a day for me to actually sit down and think about what veterans have done for us.
My grandpa was a veteran. He was stationed in Okinawa in '51. And yeah, I'm here, Japanese American.
Veterans Day is a day that I get to honor both my husband, my friends, and my dad, and all my other family members for helping serve our country and helping give our country the freedoms that we have.
I appreciate veterans for going and doing the hard work that us citizens don't have to do to make the world a better place.
Thank you for being heroes and for being brave. And I appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you, veterans.
And I'm thankful for veterans because you make the world a better place and you don't always get to see your family even though you miss them on a daily.
Definitely want to thank all you veterans for all you've done for our country. Again, myself and many other Americans across the nation wouldn't be able to live and be free in our country if not for you. So definitely thank you to all the veterans in past, present, and definitely future.
Veterans Day is tomorrow on the 11th of November. That is why we will not be at school or at work. Veterans Day was established at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, which ended World War I. We honor and respect those who have served in our military since then, starting with Armistice Day. Please take a minute and think about the questions that you're about to see on the screen. The first one, how many of you have family or friends who have served in one of the armed forces, whether they are still with us or have passed away? How many of you have connections to our military service people in the past or in the present? And do you have anyone who is currently in one of the services that is deployed to one of the areas where conflict is happening and the United States military is engaged? Take a minute and think about them. Armistice Day is a foundation of Veterans Day here in the United States. Remembrance Day happened in Great Britain over the weekend, and you can see coverage of that if you look online. But Armistice Day gets its start when the Allied powers signed a ceasefire agreement with Germany and France at the 11th hour on November 11th in 1918, which brought the war now known as World War I to a close. Between the World Wars, November 11th was commemorated as Armistice Day in the United States, Great Britain, and France. World War II saw similar Allied countries again fighting though the French and the British fought longer and lost ground and territory for the early part of the war against Germany and its allies. The United States was attacked by the Japanese in 1941 on December 7th, and the speech made by Franklin Delano Roosevelt on December 8th is well known and ought to be listened to. But we entered the fray of World War II officially after the attack by the Japanese in 1941. While Veterans Day is not a day to honor only those who have died fighting for the United States military, we do honor them, and one of the poems used to do that is in Flanders Fields. This is in Europe where the fighting took place. These are the ghosts of the dead. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. And this is a burial ground in Europe now. We have a few images from World War II. This image, as we honor veterans, comes from the archives, the Veterans Archives, and the image is of World War II veterans in the parking lot in back of the Navajo Ordnance Depot headquarters building near Flagstaff, Arizona. And without the Navajo code talkers, we would have struggled more in World War II because they were able to communicate in their own language, and it was not something that the German code breakers could decipher. Here's an interesting tidbit or interesting bit of weird history. Please read. The purpose of this day of honor is to honor those who have served in the armed forces in the United States. This does not honor those who fell serving in battle or in a war zone. That is Memorial Day in May, and we have honorings and memorials around the country for them as well. The armed forces refer to the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, and the Coast Guard. Each branch of the military service has their own symbols, their own anthems, their own rankings. Some are similar between them and some are not, and some are ranked differently as well, and their own responsibilities, some of which overlap and some which do not. There are additionally National Guards that are attached to them where service has similarities and differences from the five. Some of the branches have been part of the United States since it was founded. Those include the Army and the Marines. Obviously, we fought in the American Revolution against Great Britain. And others have originated later. The Navy under John Adams, the Coast Guard, and then the Air Force in the 1950s. The end of World War II did not mean the end of a need for a standing military, and our United States military service people have been involved in conflicts since the Second World War. And this is the list that I was able to find, and the source is linked as well. We have people who are deployed, we have people who come back, we have people who have multiple deployments in multiple different conflicts. And it's important to try to understand as much as we can, because the impact on the people who fight for the United States and to help others around the world cannot be minimized.
On behalf of the digital media program here at Baker Middle School, we'd like to personally thank you for joining us today to celebrate our veterans.
A big thank you to all those who helped make this happen. Most of all, thank you to our veterans for your service to our country.